When I first started making videos on YouTube, I didn't have the slightest clue about how lighting worked, and honestly, half the time I still don't. But like most things, there are some simple fundamental principles that you can learn easily that you could start applying to your own videos when it comes to lighting. So with just a couple extra lights and a few minutes of your time, I can help you improve the quality of your videos. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Quinn and I'm here with the Podcast Consultant. You're watching Podcast Pro Tips, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the fundamentals of lighting using the 3-point lighting system. This system's a game changer, and you can honestly do this with a couple of inexpensive lights and dramatically improve the quality of your videos. Be sure to stick around until the end of this video, where I also show you some really quick basics on grading the shots that you'll get from your camera, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more Podcast Pro Tips. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned on the outset, for just a couple of extra lights, you can improve the quality of your videos using the 3-point lighting system. And don't worry, I have a graph. So if we take a look at this graph, this is a great starting point to apply a 3-point lighting system to your own videos. As you can see, 3-point lighting literally means using 3 lights. So we have the object that we are lighting up, in this case it's going to be the speaker, and the 3 lights here. So the first light is going to be our key light. This is the main source of lighting, likely the brightest, that's going to be lighting up the subject. The second light we have is a side fill, and this is literally going to fill in the side of the object. And then on the third light, we have a backlight. This is going to light up the back of the object that you're filming. And then in this setup, commonly you would have the camera pointing straight on right at the object. Now, when it comes to lighting, this is a great starting point, but it really comes down to style and the look you're trying to achieve that will dictate whether you use 2 lights, 3 lights, what angles they're at, what angle the camera is at, and things like this. So in my case, with the room that I'm filming in, I found that a 2-point lighting system works quite well. I have the key light here, and then I have the backlight. And my camera is also slightly off axis as well. This helps because I have huge glasses which reflect virtually everything, which, as you can see, I have a big monitor, and that's just all up in here all the time. And as I just mentioned, style is very much a factor here. Using 2 points of lighting and using neutral or cooler lighting gives me the look that I like, but you might prefer a 3-point warm lighting look for your videos. As you may or may not have noticed from previous videos of mine, I have this big window in my office that has made shooting videos an absolute nightmare. I finally buckled down and blocked out the window, but prior to that point, I was always fighting against the time of day, whether or not there was overcast, and frankly, it was just such a headache. If I was going to film videos, I had to film them between 10 and 11 a.m., or if it was in the evening, it would have been between 4 and 5, provided that it was a sunny day. Now, if it was an overcast day, I could pretty much shoot whenever I wanted, but the color grading template that I had made for days where it's sunny didn't work because the style of lighting was slightly different. On top of that, I've also played around with camera depth, having the camera closer, further back, straight ahead, going from the bottom, shooting up, and even from the top, shooting down. So long story long, experimenting is a big part of this process, and there is no right way to do it. So I encourage you to play around and find something that works for you and gives you the style that you want for your videos. So now that I've discussed the lighting, I want to show you in application what it looks like when I isolate each of the sources of lighting I use. The first one I want to isolate is the key light, because that is most commonly what people have. It's just a single light in front of them or to the side shooting them. So I've gone ahead and I've turned my backlight off. And as you can see, there is already this lack of depth that comes with the shot by just using a single key light. It's subtle, but it's very powerful. So as you can see, I've turned it back on now, and it just adds a subtle richness and professionalism to the shot. I also use a slightly off blue color for the light, as it works well with the millennial gray that's painted everywhere in my office. Now this next one's going to be obvious, but I'm going to kill the key light, and then you'll be able to see just how much of a difference this makes. So as you can see, there is a subtle amount of natural lighting, but realistically speaking, as I've blocked out my windows, without a key light or a side fill, I lose pretty much all of the depth of the shot. You can't really see me all that well, and if I turned everything off completely and just left the backlight, the camera doesn't even know where to focus, and I'm pretty much just a silhouette in the dark. On top of that, I just want to quickly show you the difference between cool lighting and warm lighting, as I personally prefer cooler or neutral lighting, but warm lighting is also a style and tone that some people quite like. So I've currently switched from the neutral lighting to a warm daylight style bulb. I personally don't like the look of warmer lighting. I prefer a cooler lighting, and then when I'm in CapCut doing color grading, I will go ahead and then decide where I want to take the tint. But for some people, they like it, and if that's your thing, party on. So capturing at the source is important, but on top of that, I also go ahead and grade and add additional things to the footage to make it pop just a little bit more than the raw that is coming right out of my camera. So when it comes to color grading my videos, I personally use CapCut. It's free, and for Pro, it's pretty cheap and has a bunch of cool features that I like. But when it comes to working on your videos, there's no shortage of alternatives that you could be using, such as Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve. You get the idea. Now, really quickly inside of CapCut, I'm just going to show you the difference between the raw footage I get and what it looks like after it's been color graded and then uploaded to YouTube. So this is the CapCut interface. As you can see here, I have my raw footage and then I've loaded it into the window to give you a look at both. So here's the raw footage. So as you can see, the shot looks great, but it lacks a bit of contrast, maybe some depth. I would probably add some darkness and other things to it. And then once I've gone ahead and applied my template, this is what the footage actually looks like. So as you can see, it's a pretty dramatic difference as to the raw captured by the camera and then what I will go ahead and do to it to give it that polish and vlog style pop. Really quickly, just to show you, inside of CapCut, what you can do is you can click a clip here, and then over on the right side, you want to pop over to the adjustment window. Now I have a template of the settings I like to use, but just to give you an idea, if I hit auto adjust, for example, already it's going to start doing a lot of things to the footage. Now I'm not crazy about the auto adjust feature. I might use it very lightly just to balance some of the light and maybe add a bit of a white balance. A lot of the magic though is going to happen right here in the color window and the lightness window. So as I mentioned before, this would be what cold lighting looks like, and this would be what warm lighting looks like. So depending on the look you're going for, you might like more of a warm look or a cold look. I'll add a little bit of this. The saturation is going to be the big one. That's where you get that color pop that a lot of vlogs have. Again, I'm just going to quickly do this to give you an idea of how much it can change everything. So I'm going to do that, maybe a little contrast. I'll pull the contrast back. So here using the shadow knob, you can see I can actually add a lot more dynamics to the shot. That's a pretty powerful tool right there. So you want to play around with this and find a look that feels good for you. I also particularly like the clarity knob. Again, it adds a bit more of that pop. If you use it too much, it's going to be a bit blown out, but if you just add a little bit, it can add some nice character there. It's already feeling a lot better. And then this is the style I tend to land on for mine, but you get the idea. So the raw footage is just step one. You want to get that as best as you possibly can from the camera. And then when you go into a software like CapCut, Adobe Premiere, or DaVinci Resolve, you're going to add some processing to the video files to give them that extra polish. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of how lighting works and ways that you could easily apply it to your own videos and improve the quality of the shot. If you're looking for more hands-on help or just want to have a discussion around how we could elevate your existing podcast, or if you're thinking about transitioning from an audio podcast to a video podcast, you can book a free discovery call with us here at the Podcast Consultant in the link below. Internet. What are some tips and tricks that you use for producing your videos? And when it comes to lighting, what are some systems that you use that you find gives you a great result? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk about it. As always, thank you for watching. And if we don't hear from you soon, wishing you all the best and happy recording.